This is Oneirophobe's Nightmare. Sorry that it took so long for me to talk about this episode, it's just that there were a lot of things happening in this episode that it deserved to have its own standalone vlog episode for being a dream challenge. In fact, the word oneirophobia means the fear of dreams. And just like the contestants that woke up from their dreams, there were a lot of great things of what they just witnessed. Last time in TPOT, the remaining contestants survived the zombie apocalypse, but in the end, Just Not were the only losers to be up for elimination. That's right, instead of two teams that were up for elimination, Just Not were the only team where the viewers had to decide who they want to save from elimination. The reason behind this temporary change is because Teardrop was automatically eliminated from the last contest because the last challenge was to survive the zombie outbreak, but Teardrop sacrificed herself to save everyone. Even though she was a team of one that joined late on TPOT, she still played a great game. And with that, we're back down to 6 teams again. As for Just Not, they all didn't survive the zombie apocalypse because Pillow killed them all before the zombies even had a chance. So after Margaret recovered them all with a recovery center, it's time to do Cake and Steak. Whoever received the most votes will get a shard of the moon, and they get to put the shard on top of the rooftop to leave their mark. Mommy and Price Tag were the only two members that tried to stop Pillow from her killing spree, so they are both safe. Now when it comes to Pillow, even though she killed all her team members on purpose for the sake of researching that death brings good luck or something, she ended up receiving the third most votes for viewers because people are so fascinated about her own research about death. But Booker's right about one thing, is that Pillow does a good deed, then good things will happen. And I guess that theory worked after she helped Price Tag with the moon shard. And speaking of our favorite dictionary, it was another close voting battle, but in the end, Book survived another episode. Nickel is eliminated, leaving Battle for Dream Island for the first time ever, unless something else might have happened to him during Battle for Dream Island again. Now I know Nickel is still a popular object character for both Battle for Dream Island and Ant-Man and Sandy, but why was he eliminated on TPOT 10 over Book? Well, out of everyone left on Just Not, Nickel wasn't much of an asset to them, and he was the first member to get killed during the zombie outbreak. And while Book came after him, she was the only member of the team that didn't jump to any conclusion that the challenge was to kill everyone. Nickel was right that it was Pillow's fault that they lost the last challenge, but it's not up to him or the other Just Notters to decide who stays or goes. But he does give a warning to everyone that they need to get rid of Pillow once and for all before she makes matters worse for the other contestants. It was nice to have Nickel on BFDI, and he may be the new Coiny, but he's not the winner of TPOT. So while everyone was arguing of what they just witnessed in the last episode and a few other conflicts, 2 decided to resolve those problems by putting everyone into a nightmare. For this challenge, 2 will put one member from each team into a deep sleep and trap them in a nightmare. The other members from the team will go inside their dream to help them. If that one member wakes up, everyone gets to escape the dream and the challenge is over. The last 2 teams that fail to wake up their members from their dream will be up for elimination. In case you're wondering what happened to that one character that appeared in the last episode, well, they're there, but now they're eavesdropping everyone for some reason. One scene may have them well hidden, but in the next scene, they may be out in the open and nobody notices them. And we still haven't figured out what does this one character wants for everyone. As it is a Cartoon Dream episode, this one was really imaginative and very bizarre when they tried to survive the nightmares and tried to solve the problem. On the strongest team on Earth, Roboflower was picked as the sleeper, but since she is a robot, she can't actually dream. But the other members of the strongest team on Earth are still trapped inside her mechanical mind, but they discover there are some buttons that can control her, and they decide to use those buttons to move her body. But there was an incident that happened that made her wake up. Even though Roboflower is wide awake, the other members of the strongest team on Earth are still trapped inside her mechanical mind, so the challenge is not over for them yet. But Basketball came with an idea to bring Roboflower into her above-ground factory to not only escape from her mind, but to reset back to her old self again to stop the evil flower persona. But Roboflower overheard everything and decided to destroy the factory before anyone else can do so. I have a feeling that Roboflower would sabotage her own team even though they need the factory to win the challenge, so I was rooting for Basketball and the other members of the team to not only win the challenge, but to stop Roboflower from destroying the factory. Because, to be honest, I really miss the old Roboflower from BFB and the early episodes of T-Pop before the big reboot. On Team Deathpack again, Black Hole had a nightmare where the challenge is to kill everything! So Black Hole had no remorse but to kill everything that he sees in sight, including his own members of Deathpack again. This nightmare sequence was pretty disturbing, but at the same time, it was kinda like my favorite dream challenge from the episode. The minute that Black Hole actually enjoys killing everyone with that facial expression of his, it was like he transformed into a serial killer. And seeing how Black Hole made an oath to never kill anyone by any means necessary, this nightmare shows that this would be so out of character for him. And as the dream continues on Depot again, the nightmare becomes more like a horror movie where Fanny and Tree try to escape Black Hole as he keeps getting bigger and bigger and sucking up everything from all the planets on Earth to the remains of the solar system. However, there was a really nice scene where Black Hole shows everyone on what would happen if he destroys everything and breaks the pack. However, I can't give everything away on how the dream ends on Jetpack again because that would be major spoilers, but Fanny did make a promise to Tree that they will find a way to free him from the canal. But as for Black Hole's dream at the end, I think Jetpack again learned how to evolve on how to prevent death. On Team Are You OK, Penn had a nightmare that he's $250 trillion in debt and needs to pay it immediately. However, seeing how that will take way too long for it to finish, Goldball came with an idea by simply killing him because if he dies in his dream, he will wake up in real life and Team Are You OK will win the challenge. Meanwhile, on Team 8, Bartbag was selected as a sleeper because she'd been having some concerns lately after the events from the zombie outbreak because she was the source behind the apocalypse and feels bad about it. So the rest of her teammates discover there are liquid substances that allows her to mix her barb molecules. Like if you dump milk on her barb molecule, she'll fall into a deeper sleep. If you dump ice cube, she'll be frozen in a block of ice. If you dump protein, she'll do some exercises. The list goes on. So the team discover if they commit to the nightmare, Bartbag will have no choice but to wake up all by herself. And then there's the S team, where Winner has a dream about Loser, their former partner, and Clark joins his former teammates. How did Clark enter inside Winner's dream? It's because 4 overheard something and decided to send him inside their dream. However, Clark and Winner finally make amends with each other because we finally figure out why Winner was no longer with Loser anymore. A while ago, as Clark previously stated, Winner and Loser were a duo. They did tours together, eat chicken nuggets together, travel the world together, and so on and so forth. Loser loved being a celebrity on pretty much everything, toys, movies, cereal boxes, and more, but Winner on the other hand, they just performed the shows for their friends. They didn't want any fame or fortune or anything. But as their popularity grew larger, Loser wanted more, but Winner on the other hand, it was just too much for them and they wanted to live a normal life. They didn't want money or anything, they loved doing the show for their friends. And ever since then, Loser went solo while Winner tried to live a normal life and leave that celebrity life behind. And they haven't seen each other ever since. And ever since then, Clark finally understands why Winner doesn't want to put on a show again. Not yet, anyway. And the reason why he was so devastated on making Winner memorable to everyone was because Clark was forgotten not too long ago when he competed on BFB. Back in BFB 11, nobody has seen him ever since, like he was killed off screen, and it wasn't until BFB 15 when 4 finally recovered him. And after they fixed the lava problem from BFB 15, 4 finally recovered everyone to make sure everyone was present. And now that Clark and Winner finally talk to each other and share their side of the story, Clark is finally ready to leave TPOT and join the other eliminated players. But we discover new details about the new elimination area. It's not only the room that's upside down, but the whole world as well. I'm guessing this is supposed to be the bottom of the world that Neely was talking about in BFB 14. And for one Season 4 event to another Season 4 event, just not our Inside Book stream about her events from Season 4. And yes, they even brought back the early designs of the facial expressions. In this dream, Book's nightmare is those fractured friendships that she broke during the events from Season 4, such as Taco, Saw, Gady, Ice Cube, and a few others from her former team. And also, yes, they even trapped her in a jawbreaker like what happened to Taco from BFB 2 and 3. So Bombi, Price Tag, and Pillow's strategy is to allow Pillow to find a new research on what can bring good luck, just so it can keep her from killing anyone. These activities include dancing, star catching, damaging the environment, bowling, and for some reason, nobody knows there was a giant jawbreaker in front of them, and it took them that long to figure out that maybe Book might be inside the jawbreaker. I know Bombi and Price Tag are trying to keep Pillow under control, but I thought everyone was over that jawbreaker fiasco after what happened to Taco. They would have gone with a good D strategy first Pillow mentioned before the challenge, but Pillow didn't want to do with that because she personally found it disgusting. However, much like Jetpack Again's dream and the Essence team, Just Not's team was actually pretty wholesome. Because in this dream, Book is trying to show that she has improved after the events from Season 4, and she's taking advice from Gaiety that maybe she could make some new friends, and she already has on Just Not. And just like Winter and Clock, there will be a time and place where Book can actually compromise with her old friends like Gaiety and especially Ice Cube. And so, even though the contestant had to go through some nightmares obstacles, this episode was definitely a wonderful dream. And now that some issues have been solved to some contestants, everyone seems to be ready to get back in the game. Is there still time for Basketball to fix Robot Flower? Will Ice Cube and Book ever become friends again? And will we ever figure out what is this one character really up to? Well, we better stay tuned because the power of 2 is to be continued.